Good morning, everyone. We'll start our next session of agronomy. Before I start this session, let me tell you this session has something special. What is it? Actually, our English medium batch timing is 7 to 9 p.m. I'm going outside today, so I'll not be available in that time slot. So instead of taking that paid batch of 7 to 9, I'm conducting the class between 8 to 10 a.m. So that means I'm taking it on the YouTube, but generally I take a class on YouTube for 1 hour, and that too on irregular mode. I'm really sorry. But in case of paid batches, that's a regular class. So this class will continue for next 2 hours. So the timing of this class will be 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. or maybe we'll increase by 15 or 20, because in the end of the session I'll be taking the doubts of all those students who are attending the session right now. If my voice is audible to you and if I am visible to you, just type a lovely Y in the chat section so that we can start it perfectly. Everyone is ready? Okay, perfect. Okay, everyone is good. So let's start the session. So guys, today's session is about terminology which is related to specific crops. Specific crop means, like in case of sugarcane we use few words. In case of sugarcane, it can be propping, it can be wrapping, it can be tying, or it can be ratooning, or it can be arrowing. So these are the terms specifically related with the crop which is known as sugarcane. Apart from sugarcane, if I'll talk about banana, in case of banana, it can be desuckering, it can be propping, it can be choking. Choking is also related to banana. Apart from this, there are so many other terms like pinching is there, nipping is there, topping is there. So we'll be discussing about all those terms in today's lecture. So before I start with those terms, I would like to give you the brief introduction. Brief introduction for what? Brief introduction for few words which we will be studying in the lecture. So when you will see that technical word, so you will not face any problem. This is why I'll try to explain it in the very first slide. So first word is apical dominance. Do you know what is the meaning of apical? Obviously yes. And you guys want to be at apex. So from apex the word is apical. Apical means highest. Apical dominance. In case of plant, when we say apical, so apical is something which is the highest part of the plant, or which is the part of plant which is located at the maximum height. Then dominance. What is the dominance? Dominance means, suppose in case of your family there can be a member, that is your father or maybe your grandfather. So he is dominant. His dominant means whatever he will say, you will have to continue with that statement. So dominancy means when the apical dominancy means when the apical part of the plant is showing dominance. What is the meaning of it? So in case of plant, there are two type of growth. One is their vertical growth. In case of vertical, plant will grow like this. This is vertical growth of the plant. But after vertical growth, when the vertical growth will be completed, now next growth which is known as lateral growth, this will arise, this will come from the stem. This is lateral, or call it second growth, right? Because first growth will be vertical. Every time we are saying that plant at initial stage will grow vertically, and after having sufficient height, now it will start giving sympodial branches, or instead of saying sympodial, call it lateral branches. So it will give you lateral growth, right? So for this growth, for this vertical growth, one hormone is responsible. We will study about that hormone in detail in our lecture of PGR, where we will study about the plant growth regulator. But right now, that hormone or that PGR is auxin. Have you heard about auxin? Yes sir, little bit. Okay, so auxin is someone who is responsible for apical dominance. Apical dominance means when the auxin is there in the plant, it will promote vertical growth. If there is vertical growth, that means lateral growth will be less, or no lateral growth will be there. So plant is growing vertically. Plant is going vertically. Now guys, I just want answer from you. V for vertical, L for lateral. Tell me V or L in the chat. What is V or L? In case if we say vertical lateral, the production will come on vertical growth or on lateral growth. Whatever you will say. You can talk about cotton, you can talk about gram, or you can talk about other crops also. My very simple question to you is, the production will come on vertical or on lateral parts? Obviously right, the production will come on the lateral part. That means, what do you want? Instead of vertical growth, you want lateral growth. So now I don't want vertical growth, but the auxin is saying that I am responsible for apical dominance, so I will give the growth in the vertical motion only, in the vertical direction only. So is there any kind of solution? Is there any solution which you have in your mind right now? By using that solution, I can stop the vertical growth, because I don't want this vertical growth, but the plant is saying either I will go vertically or I will go laterally. So I'm saying, okay, just stop this vertical growth and come to lateral growth only. But auxin is saying, no, I will promote apical dominance. So do we have any kind of solution? Yes, we do have solution. That solution, obviously you guys are right, pinching, topping, nipping, tipping, we will discuss about these terms. But the simple solution is, suppose if this is a plant. So in case of auxin is always auxin is always available in the tips of shoot as well as root. Minor quantity is found in the root, but major quantity is in the shoot. So suppose if it is a plant, right? If it is a plant, so this is the apical part of the plant. So in this apical part, what is present? Sir, auxin. Auxin is responsible for apical dominance. So if I will remove this apical part, if I will remove this upper part, so what will happen? I'm not removing the upper part. Actually, the reason behind removing this upper part is to remove auxin. So I have removed auxin. Now instead of showing growth like this, plant will show growth like this. So easily you can understand, here plant was having vertical growth, this is why lateral growth was less. And here what I did, I simply removed the upper part of the plant. You can see in the image, I simply removed the upper part of the plant. When I have removed the upper part, so that means I done the topping. After topping, now auxin has been removed. If auxin has been removed, that means we removed the apical dominance. Apical dominance means we have stopped the vertical growth, and after vertical growth, what will happen? It will lateral growth. Now you can easily see the difference between this plant which is having vertical growth, which is having apical dominance, and this one which does not have apical dominance. Why? Because we have removed the upper part of it. I hope now you guys are clear about apical dominance. Now there are few words: topping, tipping, nipping, pinching. We will study about this, don't worry, है ना? So the main concept was apical dominance. If you are clear about apical dominance, I need a lovely Y in the chat section so that I can move forward. Now let's move forward. In this lecture we will be talking about the groundnut also. In case of groundnut, there is a term which is known as pegging. Pegging means the development of the peg in the groundnut is known as pegging. Pegging, in case of pegs are also known as gynophore. Gynophore. When we are listening these terms, androecium, gynoecium, so we know androecium means it should be male, gynoecium means it should be female. So when you are saying gynophore, that means we can relate, yeah sir, it can be female part. But what exactly is female part? So in case of plant, in case of flower, there are two parts. One is male part, one is female part. But the presence of male and female part is different. Sometimes male and female part are present within the flowers, within the same flower. Sometimes male and female part are present on the same plant but different flower. And sometimes male flowers are on the different plant, female flower are on the different plant. So three conditions can be there, which will be taught to you in the horticulture part. But right now I'm just telling about the male and female part. So in case of plant, this stamen means which has anther. Then anther has a filament. I will zoom it out so that you can clearly see it. So see, this part is known as anther. So anther is available on a filament which is known as actually filament, है ना? So that stick like structure is known as filament. So in case if we say anther and filament, so they are male part and combinedly we call them stamen. Because right now in my class there are some male student and there are some female, but what I am calling you student. Why? Because I have combined male and female and now they become student. In the same way, anther and filament are the part of male part, and this male part is combinedly known as stamen. Now talk about the female part. In case of female part, the upper upper section of female part is known as receiver. Sir, why we call them receiver? I will tell you. This is known as stigma, right? In case of stigma, after stigma, there is a thin tube-like structure. That thin tube-like structure is known as style. And after that thin tube-like structure, there is ovary, which is responsible for all important part, all important function. That important function is known as fertilization. Now you say, sir, I have studied this, that this stigma is responsible pollination. You are saying fertilization. So guys, there are two concepts. One is pollination, one is fertilization. And it's very easy. How it is easy? So guys, in case of pollination, for pollination, as the name says pollination, for pollination what we need pollen grain. We need pollen grain. So in case of pollination, when we need pollen grain are the part of male part, right? So here pollen grain will be present. Now pollen grain, those are the male part, want to transfer to the female part. But how they can move? They can move by using wind. They can move using insect. In case of insect, that is your favorite insect, है ना? Honeybee. Sir, honeybee is not my favorite. No, I'm not talking about honeybee. Just remove the bee and then check your WhatsApp chat. You will see you're using that word honey every time. I don't know why you are ordering honey online. है ना? That's fine. You can ask for the honey because honey is very nutritious food. But sometime after 11:30 in the night, you are talking to honey. Hi honey, how are you? है ना? Now my parents are sleeping and we can talk right now. है ना? So that honey is harmful for you. But the honey which is made by a honeybee, that is good for your health, right? Okay, come back to the point. Now don't think about honey, है ना? Yeah sir, I was talking to her. I asked her to talk to me after 8 a.m. in the morning and today it is class, so I am very upset. है ना? Don't take it otherwise. Honeybee. In case of honeybee, so honeybee used to transfer that pollen to stigma. That pollen to stigma. So when the pollen grains are transferring to stigma by any mean, doesn't mean by any mean, by insect, by light, not by light actually, by insect, by air, by something else, doesn't matter. But when the pollen grain are moving from male part to female part, so in female part, receiver is like stigma. Receiver is stigma. Receiver is stigma. Here pollen grain will reach. So if the pollen grain are reaching here, this process is known as pollination. That's it. We cannot say fertilization, but this process is pollination. Reaching of the male part or pollen grain to the female part, which is stigma, it is known as pollination. So sir, earlier you said stigma is receiver. Why I said receiver? So guys, why I said this is receiver? Because in case of stigma used to receive the pollen grain, because without stigma they cannot reach up to the ovary. I'll go there up to ovary, but first of all just try to understand the movement of the pollen grain from anther to stigma is known as pollination. Is it clear to everyone? Okay, so pollination, it will happen at stigma. Why we at stigma? Because stigma is the upper part of the female section. That's it, है ना? Like in case of marriage, I don't know what kind of traditions are there in your southern part of India, but in North India, what we see when the marriage, in case of marriage, when the party from the boys or the main person, है ना? So when he is coming, so his wife's sister means you can say sister-in-laws. So they are standing on the gate with the ribbon and they are asking for the money to enter inside. So they are working like a stigma that we are receiver. We will not allow you to let you in without money. Is it happening is it happening there also? है ना? So it's working like a receiver, that we are receiver, we will receive you, you can come inside, but before that we need something, है ना? So they want money, that's okay. So stigma, pollen grain will reach to stigma, and then after stigma it is moving to style, and after moving to style it will reach to ovary, and in ovary ovary is female part, ovules, ovary. So this is female part, and the one which was coming from stigma to style to ovary, that was male part. Now the fusion of male and female will be considered as, tell me guys, it will be considered as, yes, it is fertilization. So before fertilization it was pollination. So always pollination will happen earlier than the fertilization. In some case, plant does not open, but it do the pollination as well as fertilization. So those conditions are rare condition or different condition, which is a part of horticulture. Right now, I just wanted to tell you about the male and female part. So that's more than sufficient. I told you about male and female. Now remaining part is the discussion of horticulture. We'll have a detailed discussion, right? Come back to the point. Pollination and fertilization is clear to you. Now the next word is propping. Sir, what is the meaning of propping? Yeah, that's what I want to tell you. The meaning of propping is to give support. To give support. That's it. So if someone was lying down on me, so I just given support like this. So this act of giving support is known as propping. So propping to support something or somebody. Propping is support to something or somebody. Right. The next one is sucker. What is sucker? We will study about the term which is known as desuckering. But before desuckering, we should know what is the meaning of sucker. Sucker and rhizome both are related term. So before telling you sucker, I will tell you about rhizome. In case of rhizome, horizontal underground plant stem. It's not talking about the vertical stem which is coming above the soil. So horizontal stem, horizontal underground plant stem capable of producing the shoot and root system of a new plant. So that underground stem or that underground root which can produce a new plant, it is known as rhizome. But rhizome is something which is underground, because every time whenever we are talking this word rhizo is always underground. Like when you will say rhizosphere, it is underground. Rhizome, it is underground. Rhizobium, it used to stay in the root of the legume crop. So rhizome means every time it is underground. So this is underground root or stem which is capable to produce a new plant. That was rhizobium. That was rhizome. And after rhizome, it is sucker. Sucker is a sprout or slim branch of new growth at root or base of the plant. In case of sucker, sucker is something which is sprouting from the base of the plant, from the root of plant, from rhizome. So rhizome are capable to make a new plant, and from that rhizome, what is coming out is known as suckers. Are you clear about suckers and rhizome? Say yes or no. Are you clear about suckers or rhizome? Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Next one is tassel and silk. Tassel and silk. Now this rhizome and sucker you will study in case of banana, and this tassel and silk you will study in case of maize. So in case of maize, male part of maize is known as tassel, female part is known as silk. Male part is tassel, female part is silk. Like I told you, I shown you in the previous image where we were talking about the male and female part, stamen, or you can call it the male part. So in case of flower, we had stamen, and in case of flower, we had pistil. Pistil is combinedly known for the female part, stigma, style, and ovary, it is pistil, and anther and filament are combinedly known as stamen. So that was male and female part of the flower. In case of maize, male part is known as tassel and female part is known as silk. I will show you how silk look like, but right now just try to remember this terminology. Next one is peg. For peg, I show you that image of flower. So in case of peg, peg is something which is a part of groundnut. In groundnut, we will study about a term which is known as pegging. In case of groundnut, you will see the flower of groundnut are above the surface, are above the plant. So if it is flowering above the soil, so that means groundnut should come above the soil, but the production of groundnut is inside the soil. So how this is happening? That plant or female, that plant which is producing flower, so flower which is flower, so in case of flower, the female part or the female phase is known as, not female phase actually, female part, which is known as gynophore. Now that gynophore will go down, because yellow color flower was above the plant. Now that gynophore will go down and penetrate into the soil, and after that pod formation, groundnut formation will occur. Don't worry, I'll show you each and everything right now. Just wanted to create a base in your mind. So in case of peg, that gynophore is known as peg. The peanut plant produce flowers aerially in the air on the plant or above the surface. The organ that carry the seed into the soil is known as gynophore, and gynophore is also known as peg. So peg or gynophore, this is same. And the second last word is fuzz. What is fuzz? We will study this word in case of cotton. In case of cotton, we have in case of cotton, we have fiber. We used to remove the fiber from the seed cotton. So that removing the fiber from the seed cotton is known as ginning or ginning. Right pronunciation is ginning. And in case when we are removing the fiber from the seed cotton, still you will see some minor fiber or some small fiber are there on the seed cotton. Those small or minor fiber are known as fuzz. So hairy outgrowth on the separated seed of cotton is known as fuzz. So that hairy growth on the seed cotton after removing the fiber which is left with the seed, that is known as fuzz. And the last word or the last concept is about carbon dioxide and protected cultivation. Do you know what is protected cultivation? Obviously yes. In case of protected cultivation, like the name says, protected. So when we have given the protection to something, it is known as protected cultivation. If I will search this word on Google, so it will start showing me so many images of poly house, net house, shade net. So here you can see in case of protected cultivation, so they are showing the images of poly house, and apart from poly house there will be some shade net as well, and apart from shade net there can be plastic mulching, because plastic mulching is also the part of protected cultivation, right? So I will show the shade net as well. See guys, this one is shade net, right? So these are shade net. Shade net means which will provide shade to the plants, so those plants which are not able to survive in the high intense light, so in that case we'll provide them shade by using shade net. So protected cultivation, in case of protected cultivation, shade net can be the part of it, poly house can be the part of it, plastic mulching can be the part of it, low tunnel, high tunnel, all those things are the part of protected cultivation. Now in protected cultivation, I will talk about poly house. Do you know what is poly house? Yes, of course, sir. We have seen poly house so many times, sir. Some days before I was going on the bus and I was looking out in the farm. So I have seen a poly house in 1 or 2 acre. Okay, perfect. In case of poly house, everybody knows that the production of the crop is comparatively more. Production of crop is comparatively more. Now, why production of crops comparatively more in case of poly house? The reason behind high or more production, there are so many reasons. But out of those so many reasons, one reason is carbon dioxide. Now, you'll say, sir, how carbon dioxide can be the reason? Okay, let me explain. Tell me by writing yes or no. Is it advisable to sleep under the trees in night? We can sleep in the day. That is okay. But I wanted to ask you, is it okay if I will sleep under the tree in the night? Say yes or no. So people are saying no, sir, don't sleep under the tree in the night. So why you people are saying no? Why people are saying no? Reason behind this, that you guys wanted to tell me, sir, in case of night, plants are doing respiration, and we are also involved in respiration, and during the process of respiration we will exhale CO2 and plant will also exhale CO2. We are inhaling O2, plants are also inhaling O2. In case of respiration, please make sure, don't even say that plant used to take CO2 and they are coming out with the O2. Of course no. In case of respiration, plants are exactly similar to us. Like we are taking O2 inside and coming out with the CO2. In the same way, plant are exhaling CO2, we are exhaling CO2. Now if I am sleeping in the night under the tree, so tree is giving me CO2, I'm also exhaling CO2, so the concentration of the CO2 will be more in case of that area. So if CO2 concentration is more, I will feel difficulty for respiration. Why? Because I will feel suffocation. What is suffocation? Suffocation is the meaning when less quantity of oxygen is there, it is suffocation. When people are climbing on the mountain, why they feel suffocated? Because when you are going up, oxygen level will decrease. When people used to visit Leh Ladakh, have you seen those bikers are going to Leh Ladakh? So what they are doing, they are simply only seeing the reels on the Instagram, but they are not studying the fact. So you are going on the highest elevation, and when you will go on the highest elevation, you will face problem with the O2. O2 is not available, that much available as compared to plains area. So those who are staying there from last 5, 10, 20, 50 or 100 years, they are comfortable with that environment. But when we people from the plain area visiting to the Leh Ladakh, there is less oxygen, and due to less oxygen we will feel suffocation. So after suffocation, people are vomiting, people are dying with everything, that situation. But what they are doing, they are taking medicine, and now I'm feeling fine, now record a video and I will put on the Instagram. And the another guy who will go to Leh Ladakh will be seeing that video only, but he's not seeing that video when he was vomiting just because of suffocation. So now, what is the meaning of suffocation? Suffocation means when lack of oxygen is there. So in the night, lack of oxygen will be there under the tree. This is why it is not advisable to sleep under the tree in the night. Now you say, sir, what will happen in the day? In day also, in case of respiration, the plant will exhale CO2 only, and it will inhale O2. Again, like night and day, plant are similar. Now you say, sir, so then why I can sleep under the tree in the morning? Reason is, along with the respiration, one more process will start in the day, and obviously you know about that process. It is, yes, of course, right, it is photosynthesis. It is photosynthesis. So that process of photosynthesis will take CO2 inside and exhale O2 outside. This is why you can sleep in the day but not in the night. Okay, that point is clear. Now, sir, what is the relation of this with the poly house? Okay, in the night, when poly house is totally closed, air cannot go outside. Have you ever visited poly house? If you have visited to poly house, tell me by writing yes or no. What yes or no? Have you ever felt suffocated while moving inside the poly house? If you have visited there, tell me by writing yes or no. If you went there inside the poly house, you will see some kind of suffocation is there. So people are saying yes, you have experienced that. The reason behind that, in the night, when plant used to exhale CO2, now that CO2 is getting collected inside the poly house only. It is not allowed to CO2 to come to go outside. So in the outside, CO2 concentration is normal concentration, but in the poly house, higher concentration of CO2 is there. So in the night, plant are exhaling CO2, and this CO2 is getting collected inside my poly house. In the day, when it is morning, when sunlight is coming, so when sunlight will come, plant will start photosynthesis. And when they will start photosynthesis, outside normal concentration of CO2 is there, but inside the concentration of CO2 has been increased. So if the concentration of CO2 has been increased, it will have more photosynthesis. Why? Because if the CO2 is more, so suppose if I am teaching you with the energy, if I am speaking little bit fast, that means you will be able to understand more concept within less time, right? So if CO2 is there, more CO2 is there, so the rate or the pace or the process of photosynthesis will be fast. If the process of photosynthesis is fast, it will create more food, because photosynthesis is creating food. It will create more food, and once it will create more food, it will increase the production. So now CO2 is responsible to increase the production inside the poly house. If you are clear about the concept, tell me, write a lovely Y in the chat section. Now you will say, sir, why you tell us this? Because your topic is something else. Don't worry, I will tell you, because in further part, when I will be discussing about CO2, so this concept will help you. Yes, of course, you people are right. Okay, that's it. So now we are clear about why I'm laughing, because one guy, maybe he's from North India, he's saying your English is excellent, and I know how I'm delivering this lecture by speaking English. That is fine. Okay, so move to the next part. So this was the basic. Now we will start with the specific term which are related with the specific crops, right? So first term, you guys can tell me the name of the term. I will show you. In case of sugarcane, here you can see this image or this photo is taken from the sugarcane field. In case of sugarcane stalk, in case of sugarcane stalk has a sufficient weight, and when the air will come, due to high pressure of air or due to wind velocity, the sugarcane will fall down. So I'll have to give it support. If I am falling down, what you will do? You will give me support. So in the same way, sugarcane is falling down. When sugarcane is falling down, we'll have to give it a support by tying few sugar canes by using its leaf. So this guy is doing same, है ना? It is trying to tie the sugar cane. It is trying to wrap the sugar cane. He is trying to give the support to sugar cane, है ना? So by covering or by tying few sugarcane stalk like this using leaf, we are giving support to the sugarcane plant. We are giving support to the sugarcane plant, and this kind of support or this kind of act of giving support in sugarcane is known as cropping. I hope you can remember. In the very first slide, I tell you what is the meaning of cropping: to support somebody or something. So right now we are giving support to sugarcane. So that support is known as propping. But along with the propping, if you will see, we are tying the bundle, not bundle actually, we are tying the stalk of the sugarcane. So when we are tying it, so this is why propping is also known as tying in case of sugarcane. And wrapping, what is the meaning of wrapping? So this is something we have wrapped the sugarcane. Do you know what is wrapping? If you will give a gift to someone, so suppose your birthday, not your birthday actually, it's a birthday of your friend. So you will give a gift to them. So before giving a gift, what we used to do, we used to take a gift cover and we are wrapping that gift in the cover. Why? Because we just want to make him surprise. We just want to give him surprise. So after opening the gift, you're like, wow, है ना? ठीक है. So in case of wrapping means when we are covering something. So we are covering the sugarcane, we are tying the sugarcane, or we are giving the support to sugarcane. This is why we will use these three terms in case of sugarcane: tying, wrapping and propping. Tying, wrapping and propping. Now how tying, wrapping and propping will help? It will help with the concept of CO2 and protected cultivation, which I explained you just 2 minutes ago. So by wrapping, what will happen? When you are wrapping sugarcane like this, so first thing will happen, support. So if support is there, if you are giving support to your plant, so one loss will not occur. Sir, what is that one loss? That one loss is known as crop lodging. Do you know what is crop lodging? Obviously yes. Crop lodging means falling down of the crop by wind velocity. Have you ever seen crop lodging? When the wind velocity is high and your crop is falling down, it is getting flat on the surface, that is known as crop lodging. So have you ever seen crop lodging in your field? Because if I am talking about lodging right now, so the picture of this year only, March and April, I can imagine when the wind velocity was very high in Punjab, Haryana and Rajasthan, so we faced a lot of crop lodging, है ना? And this was happening because of the high wind velocity. This was happening because of the high wind velocity. So when crops are lodging, when crops are falling down, when crops are getting downward, when crops are getting flat on the surface because of high wind velocity, it is known as crop lodging. But please make sure crop lodging is different, crop logging is different. I will tell you about crop logging also, but not right now, है ना? Because right now my focus is something else. But please make sure crop lodging is L-O-D-G-I-N-G, crop lodging is L-O-G-G-I-N-G, right? So these terms are different. And even there is a term when the water is stagnant, when the water is there in your area, that term or that condition is known as water logging, है ना? So water logging is beneficial for the plants. Of course, no, water logging is always harmful for the plants except rice. Rice demands for water logging, but otherwise if water logging is there, it will give the negative impact to the plant. So make sure crop lodging is different, crop logging is different. Right now I told you about the crop lodging. So to prevent the crop lodging, we don't want that our sugarcane should fall down. So if we want to prevent the lodging, what we will do, we'll go with the propping. When we are giving the support to the sugarcane stalk, when we are giving the support to the sugarcane stalk, it will not fall down. And if it is not falling down, that means we have given the support. That act of giving support is known as tying, wrapping and propping. Okay, sir, clear about it. Now next concept is about CO2. When you will prop the banana, so in case, not banana, sorry yaar, propping is done in banana also, but right now in sugarcane. In sugarcane, when you will prop the sugarcane, so after propping, the movement or the circulation of the air as well as penetration of the sunlight will be better. So if air is moving better inside your crop, so what will happen? Penetration of air, circulation of air is more, that means circulation of CO2 will be better. And if CO2 is getting better, CO2 has a good quality, or because of better circulation of air, plants are getting more CO2. I hope now you can relate what will happen when it is having good circulation of CO2. Can you relate this statement with the protected cultivation? Type a lovely Y that, sir, yes, now I am clear. By more CO2, it will have more photosynthesis, more food production, more production. So sir, tying, wrapping or propping will help to increase the production as well as it will prevent crop lodging. Yes, people are clear now. So let's move forward, read about the data, what is there in the PPT. But before reading the PPT, I told you about all the concept. So it says tying, wrapping and propping are done in sugarcane just to provide mechanical support. Yes, I don't want to see the lodging in my field. Lodging is harmful. When the crop will fall down, the production will be decreased. So I don't want to see the crops falling down. So I want to prevent the crop lodging. To prevent the crop lodging, support the growth up cane plant to prevent lodging. Sugarcane just to provide mechanical support to the growth of plant to prevent lodging. And by wrapping, the distribution of CO2 become easy and proper to all plants throughout the field. This practice is done at the age of 210 days. Why we are doing it? What is the name of process and what is the duration or what time we are doing it? These are very important. So tying, wrapping and propping will be done at the age of 210 days. And why it is getting done? To prevent the lodging and to give more CO2 to our crop. I hope everyone is clear about tying, wrapping and propping in case of sugarcane. Let's move forward and talk about the next concept. This was about tying, wrapping and propping in sugarcane, right? Yes, of course, somebody is saying 7 months, right? So instead of calling it 210 days, you can say 7 months. Let's move forward and talk about the next term. But before I talk about the next term, I will show you one more video. So here you can see banana plantation. Banana is not a tree, actually it's a herbaceous plant. So in case of banana plantation, it will fall down, but it should not fall down. This is why we have given the support by the bamboo stick or some other kind of stick can be there. So we are giving the support to the banana plant, support to the banana herbaceous plant. Tell me guys, what term you will give to banana for this part? When we are giving the support to the banana to support the growth of banana plant, what we will call it? Somebody said staking. So guys, please make sure staking, these are different concepts. Here we will call or we will say it propping. Yes, propping. Sir, you just said propping is done in sugarcane. So while I was teaching you about sugarcane, I also said propping is done in banana as well. So it is done in banana as well. But in case of propping in banana, we cannot call it tying or wrapping because we are not tying anything. We are not wrapping anything. We are just giving the support. So in case of sugarcane, this is known as tying, wrapping and propping. But in case of banana, it will be only considered as propping. That's it. You cannot say any other word. It is only propping. I hope you guys are clear about propping. See, so this was about the propping in banana and in sugarcane. Now sir, tell us about the propping in banana. So obviously when banana will have bearing, when banana will have banana bunches on the plant, so it will be heavy for the banana plant to handle it. So it will fall down, but I don't want it to fall down. So what I will do, I will to support the growth or to make sure that my crop should not fall down, I will give the support to banana, and that is known as propping. Right, propping is clear to everyone. I hope each and every one of you, whosoever is there in the class, you guys are able to understand everything. Is it right? Because I used to take these paid classes on the Zoom. In the Zoom, I can see the video of each and every student, and I used to ask them, raise your hand, give me thumbs up, thumbs down. So today it is on the YouTube, so that is okay, don't worry. Tomorrow or day after tomorrow again I will see you on the Zoom only. But right now I just want your confirmation. In case if you are facing any doubt, you can ask n number of doubt after the end of this session. Okay, let's move forward now. One more video is there. Please see this video carefully. Now the practice is something else. This guy is removing the leaves of the sugar cane. Why, sir? I will tell you why. But this guy is removing the leaves of the sugar cane. है ना? He is removing the dry leaves as well as he is removing the green leaves. So removing the dry leaves I can understand. But why, sir, he is removing green leaves? Okay. So why he is removing green leaves? Reason is, if you will see this crop, if you will see the sugarcane crop in the field, sugarcane crop is very dense. Sugarcane crop is very dense. So it is dense and it is impossible for sunlight to reach on the each and every leaf. Because it is very dense, sunlight will not be able to reach on every leaf. So guys, tell me, if the sunlight is not able to reach on the every leaf, so without sunlight, can the plant involved in photosynthesis? Sir, no. Plant cannot do photosynthesis without the presence of light. So if light is not there, those leaves are not involved in photosynthesis. Those leaves are not making food, but for their survival, they are taking food or they are taking nutrition from the stalk. So they are not making the food, but they are taking the nutrition from the sugarcane stem. So should I keep them on the sugarcane stem? You will say no. Why? Because sir, it is not giving anything, but it is taking something from the sugarcane. So sir, it better to remove them. So the removal of the green and dry leaves from sugarcane stalk, which are not available or which are not capable to do photosynthesis, the removal of those leaves is known as trashing, or we also call it detrashing. Trashing or detrashing. The ectopropping is done after 210 days, but the ectotrashing and detrashing is done after 150 days, and after 150 days now this will be repeated bi-monthly. So every in 2 months we'll have to do the trashing. Why? Because by trashing you will remove the parasite. You will remove the parasite. What is parasite? If those leaves are not giving any nutrition but it is taking nutrition, so obviously that is parasite, right? So that parasitic leaf should be removed periodically, so that we can ensure maximum part of nutrition or all the part of nutrition is going to the sugarcane stalk. So detrashing refers to removal of unwanted bottom, dry as well as green leaves at a regular interval. Sugarcane stalk bear large number of leaves equal to the number of internode under good management system. However, all these leaves are not productive because sunlight is not reaching to them. So all those leaves are not productive. Only top 8 to 10 leaves are required for the optimum photosynthesis. So 30 to 35 leaves are there. But out of those 30 to 35, only 8 to 10 are sufficient. That means I'll have to remove remaining 20 to 25. So the removal of those 20 to 25 leaves is known as detrashing. Detrashing should be taken up after the cane formation around 150 days after planting. Thereafter, it could be done at bi-monthly interval depending on the labor availability. Because this work is labor intensive. So if the sufficient labor or the economic labor is available, we should do it bi-monthly. We should repeat this action after 2 months. But first time it will be done at 150 days and propping will be done at 210 days. I hope you are clear about detrashing in the sugarcane as well as you are clear about the propping in sugarcane and propping in banana as well. So we have studied about the propping in banana. Now see about the banana plantation. So here you will see banana plantation. I will play this video, but before I play this video, let me tell you, I told you a term which is known as rhizome. Rhizome was underground stem, or call it underground root. Root is always underground. So it's a root or it's a stem which is capable to produce one more plant. So suppose if my root means if the root of a plant is producing a plant, but from that root only one more plant is coming. When more plant is coming, now what will happen? Sir, nutrition will be divided. Obviously, right? Tell me how many brothers, sister you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many siblings you are? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what happened? If you are the elder one, you have seen the best days as well as worst days. Why? Because being the elder one, I'm the middle one actually, है ना? So being the elder one, what will happen? Your family, all the members of your family will show you love and affection. But when another child will come, now that love and affection will be divided into two, and even more will be given to the younger one. And at that time we will feel little bit bad about us, है ना? Why? Because now we are not having that kind of care. Is it happen with you also? We cannot remember at that time we were 2, 3, 4, 5 years old. But yeah, this is happening in case of kids. Kids are having a lot of attention, but after birth of second kid, now that attention is divided. That is very obvious, right? So in case of banana, one root is having, है ना? One root is having only one plant, but from that one root another plant is coming. So what will happen? Sir, love and affection will be divided. Not love and affection, but the nutrition will be divided. So do you want to divide this nutrition? Do you want to divide the nutrition and give the nutrition to the second plant so that it can grow, but it can reduce the quality of the first plant? So do you want to divert it? Obviously no. If you don't want to divert it, so you don't allow the other plant to come outside. So see the video and then tell me what is it actually. So this guy, what this man is doing, he's simply removing the second plant which was coming outside from the main plant's root. So it was coming outside from the rhizome, but this person has removed that rhizome. Tell me the removal, not that rhizome, he removed something else. Why I'm not taking the name of that? Because you will easily understand, but I want to listen from you. Obviously in this video you have seen that this man has removed something which was coming from root, and this structure, this growth is known as suckers, and the removal of suckers is known as desuckering. And why we have removed it? We have removed it. Why? The reason behind this removal, was to divert. We don't want to divert the nutrition to the other plant. It should go to one plant only, and it should give us sufficient growth, good growth or good production. This is why we are doing desuckering. Desuckering is banana is also known as thinning of the suckers. Yes, we are removing the sucker, so that can be called as thinning of suckers. So water sucker or sucker, a sucker is a lateral shoot that develop from the rhizome and emerge from the soil, usually near to the parent plant. Right, usually near to the parent, as you have seen in the video. It's a form of asexual or vegetative propagation that make banana plant perennial. So many times there is an argument, है ना? Why sir, why banana is not perennial? Because in your book sometime when you will study annual, biennial and perennial, so you will categorize banana as annual, but actually it is perennial. How it is annual and perennial? Because by that pseudo stem, because banana is not a tree, it's a pseudo stem. So by that pseudo stem we are taking production for one time only. After that, that pseudo stem will be removed, and the another sucker will be allowed to take the growth. Another sucker will be allowed to take the growth, right? So what we are doing, we are taking production for one time only from that pseudo stem. This is why banana can be classified as an annual crop, but otherwise standard if you will say banana is perennial. Those root sucker, one will come, another will come, another will come, another will come. So more than 3 years it will be coming, or it will be getting grown by those suckers. This is why banana will be categorized as perennial. So now you are clear why annual and why we call them perennial. Right? So desuckering reduce unnecessary competition among the suckers, because we want to give the nutrition to the one plant only. Quality of bunches will also improve, because after desuckering nutrition will come to one plant only, so quality of bunches will be improved. Okay. That's it about the desuckering of the banana. Now let's move to the next video. In next video you will see this is not banana, this is tobacco. So in case of tobacco, please try to see the video clearly so that you can understand the concept. In case of tobacco, what is important? Sir, in case of tobacco, leaves are important, sir. I don't want to grow flower there. I don't want to grow next leaves there. Next leaves means Initial leaves has the quality. Now when next leaves are coming, quality means nutrition will be divided into older and newer leaves. So do you want newer leaves? No sir, I want older leaves only with the good quality. Do you want flower? No sir, I don't want any bud, any sucker, any flower. I just want that quality or the nutrition should remain in the leaves only. So what I will do, I will go with the topping in case of tobacco. So in tobacco, what we'll do in case of tobacco, in case of tobacco, what is topping? So see the plant which you can see right now. So these are flowers, and here clearly you can see floral growth is there in case of tobacco. So I just removed that growth, and you will see in the video that floral growth has been removed. This is known as topping. This is known as topping. Now what is suckering or desuckering in tobacco? Because it was in banana, but it is also in tobacco. You will see some new leaf, some new bud, some new sucker. Those new bud are known as sucker. See it carefully. He is trying to remove those new leaves. See it carefully, please. So that short leaf, the new leaf is coming outside, that will be removed. So the removal of that short leaf, which is known as sucker, is desuckering, or that removal of the upper part of the flower is known as topping. So topping and desuckering is also the part of tobacco, because desuckering was the part of banana, but desuckering is also the part of, after banana it is a part of tobacco. And in case of topping will be the part of some other crops as well, but right now it is tobacco. Are you guys clear about topping and desuckering? And if you are clear, you should also be clear about the objective, why we are doing topping and resuckering, why we are doing topping and desuckering. The reason behind this, we don't want the nutrition to be shifted to other organ or other plants part, so we want to stay in the new leaves only, in the older leaves only. So to produce quality leaves, we are doing topping as well as desuckering. And if you are saying about the quality leaves, so tell me the name of that compound. If it is in the leaves of the tobacco, so that will be considered as qualitative leaves, or that will be considered as good leaves. So leaves of tobacco can be called as good leaves based on what? Yes, of course, you people are absolutely right. It's based on nicotine content. So I want sufficient nicotine content, I want good burning quality, I want good quality of the tobacco. This is why I'll go with the topping as well as desuckering. So what is topping and desuckering? I have explained everything. So apical dominance, it says when plants are topped, when we have removed it, apical dominance is broken, and lateral buds which will start coming out, it is known as sucker development. That short leaf or that short bud which was removed in the second part of the video, that is known as sucker. So removal of sucker will be known as suckering or desuckering. The practice of removing these sucker is called desuckering. Practice can be done manually as in the video, or by using a chemical like malic hydrazide can be used. Removal of the sucker should be done before they become large enough to restrict the development of the leaves. They will take the nutrition and they will restrict the growth of the other leaves. So we should remove them. The main aim of topping as well as desuckering operation is to divert the energy and nutrition of the plant from floral head to leaves, which influence the yield and quality of tobacco. So this was about desuckering and topping. Now type a lovely Y if you are clear about all those terms which we have studied so far. Till now what we have discussed about the specific term, about the terminology, and then after terminology we discuss about the tying, wrapping and propping in sugar cane. Then it was propping in banana. After that it was trashing or detrashing in sugar cane. Then it was desuckering in banana. Then it was topping and desuckering in tobacco. Now we'll move to the maize, but before I move to the maize, I need a confirmation from your side. Are you people getting everything right? Okay. Let's move forward. So next the crop you can see in the field, it is maize. In maize I told you two names. One was tassel, second was silk. What is tassel and silk? In case of tassel, it is a male part of the maize, and in case of silk, it is a female part of the maize. or female part of the flower, you can say female part of the maize plant. When silk are coming, when female part is coming, that stage is known as silking. It is known as silking. So silking is something which is related to maize. And when tassels are coming, that is related to maize. But tassel is not a term. The term is detasseling. And when it is saying D, so obviously you know when it said detrashing, removal of trash, de-suckering, removal of suckers, now it is detasseling. So easily you can understand detasseling means removal of the tassel. Tassel is the male plant. So before I tell you about it, just check the video. So what this guy is doing is he is simply pulling the male part, which is known as tassel, outside the cone or maize plant. So male part which are known as tassel are getting removed. You can clearly see in this video. So the removal of tassel, removal of this male part is known as detasseling. Now we have a doubt in our mind. Sir, earlier we were getting your point. You were saying that we are doing this just to ensure that energy will not get diverted. But sir, you are removing the male part. Sir, this is compulsory. Male part should remain there because for pollination, fertilization, male part is compulsory. So if you want a sufficient production, so you should not remove the male part. But removing the male part, or you can say detasseling in maize, is not a normal operation. It's related to something else, is related to hybridization. When we want to produce hybridized seeds, so example, take an example. I am in Punjab right now. So suppose if I have seen a quality in the maize crop which is in Punjab maize, and secondly I went to Haryana and I realized another variety of maize is there in Haryana. So now character A which is good for me is in Punjab maize, and character B which I liked most is in Haryana maize. So do you have any kind of technology, or can you suggest me any solution that I can take these two characters in one only, because these two characters are available in two varieties, but I want both of these character in my variety in one variety only. So is there any solution for this? Yes, solution for this is a hybridization. What is the meaning of hybridization? Hybridization means I will simply cross. It's not simple process actually, it is taking a lot of time. But yeah, what we will do, we will simply cross the A variety or variety of Punjab with the Haryana variety. So Punjab and Haryana variety, when it will be crossed, so like in the animal husbandry, you people have covered animal husbandry, so you can remember out cross breeding. So cross breeding was doing this. When I want the character of two animal, I am involving them different breed for the mating. That is known as cross breeding. So in case of cross breeding, after mating of two different individual, we are getting the quality of two individual into the one individual only. In the same in case of hybridization, two category or two crops or two variety will be hybridized, and those two characters will be available in one only. Now guys, please make sure what I want the cross of variety from Punjab to cross with the Haryana. So if I want to cross Punjab with the Haryana variety, what I'll have to ensure? I'll have to ensure that plant should not do self-pollination. Sir, what is self-pollination? Self-pollination when the male of Punjab variety is crossing with the female part of the Punjab variety. So they are crossing in between, within the same variety, which will be considered as self-pollination. And if self-pollination will occur, I will not be able to produce two qualities. So I'll have to reduce, or I'll have to stop the self pollination. So to reduce self pollination, I will remove the tassel, I will remove the male part. If male part has been removed, now the self pollination cannot occur. So to control self pollination or to hybridize two variety of the cone, we will do detasseling, because the previous term which we were studying, are done by the farmer. But this should not be done by the farmer. This should be done by the researchers, scientists, when they want to hybridize two variety. So it says detasseling is the process of removing the tassel from the top of the corn plant to prevent it from pollinating itself, or call it self-pollination. We remove the tassel from the female rows, so male plant will not pollinate the female to create a hybridized seed corn. Detasseling is done every day from the emergence of tassel up to 14 days. Every day when tassel are coming, we'll make them out. Tassel are coming, we'll make them out. To hybridize two variety, we'll remove the tassel. We'll remove the tassel. That will be known as detasseling, and the detasseling is done in the maize. Okay, I hope now you are clear about the hybridization. Actually you are not clear about the hybridization. That is something which we will study in the seed science, because everything cannot be explained in a single class. For every term I need specific subject, but you are clear about detasseling, why detasseling is getting used in case of maize. Okay, let's come to the next point. So after maize, now next video is there. So by seeing that video, please try to identify. First of all, you'll have to tell me which crop or which crop plant it is. So by seeing this video, can you tell me which crop plant or which crop it is? Yes, you people are right. This is groundnut. And now see the video, है ना? This video, now that person is trying to show something, that pine like structure, है ना? That structure is known as peg. Now you'll see that peg has been penetrated into the soil, है ना? That peg has penetrated, or is about to penetrate the soil. So this peg is known as gynophore, right? This peg is the other name of the peg is gynophore. Gynophore will move downward. When it will penetrate into the soil, it will make the pod. It will make the pod. So for the pod formation, it is compulsory that the gynophore should go down and it should penetrate the soil. So if the soil is hard, so gynophore will not be able to penetrate because soil is hard. This is why every time we are studying that for groundnut production, tell me in the chat section what kind of soil is considered good for groundnut production. What kind of soil? Because you cannot say black soil, है ना? Why black soil? Because black soil is comparatively compacted, it is hard. So hard soil are not suitable for the groundnut cultivation. But yes, Jivita says sandy loam. You can say sandy loam, you can say red soil. So sandy loam or red soils are considered good for the groundnut production. Why? Because groundnut need soil which have less compaction, and in sandy loam or in red soil less compaction is there, and this is why that soil is suitable for this crop. Okay, so let's move forward. So I hope you are clear about the pegging. So the video was showing about the peg. Here you have seen the peg. Peg was this structure which is penetrating into the soil. So this is peg, this is gynophore which will go inside. So formation of the gynophore is known as peg, and the process of formation of peg in the groundnut is known as pegging. So you are clear about the pegging, that what is pegging. Okay, so read about the information there. In case of pegging, it says the peanut plant produces flower aerially. Yes, the flowers are produced in the air, on the shoot only, not in the ground. The organ that carry the seed into the soil, the organ which will carry the seed into the soil, it is peg, or call it gynophore. The peg enlarge and grow down away from the plant, forming a small stem which extend to the soil, which will go down, which will penetrate the soil. The bending and downward growth of the stalks called pegging. Bending and downward growth of the stalk is called pegging, which allow the young pod to enter the soil and continue their maturation process underground. So that flower, which is the aerial part of the plant, will go down in the form of peg, and now the peg will make sure that the pod are getting formed. So in case of groundnut, there is a ratio of flower, peg and poured, because first groundnut flour will come, after that peg will come, and after peg it will be poured. And obviously you know about this ratio. Can you tell me what is the ratio of flour, peg and poured in case of groundnut? Of course you people are right, it's not 7:6:1. That is wrong issue, है ना? So in case of flour, peg and poured, let me see who can tell me the right answer. Nishu Moria is wrong. 7:6:1 is wrong answer. Anyone else who can tell me the right answer? Yes, Jay Pratap and Sachin are right. It is 7:4:1. Clear? Okay, done. Everyone is clear about pegging in groundnut, है ना? So pegging is not something that we are removing something which will not divert the nutrient. It's not. It's a natural process. It's a natural process of the groundnut plant. When peg will be formed, it will penetrate to the soil. But yes, what we can do, instead of growing in the compacted soil, we should grow the groundnut in the loose soil. In the loose soil, it will be easier for the peg to penetrate inside the soil, and the more peg will penetrate, the production will be increased. This is why loose soil or less compacted soil is important for groundnut. That's it about the pegging. Now again we'll move to the next video. In next video you will see cotton crop. Cotton is getting processed. Cotton is getting processed. They are putting the cotton in the machine. Now the raw cotton is getting into the machine, and after the raw cotton which is getting to the machine, seeds are getting removed. So here the seeds are getting collected, and along with the seeds you will say fiber is taken away. Seeds was getting down, and this is only fiber without the seed. So we are removing the fiber from the seed. Removal of fiber from the seed. Obviously we know the term removal of the fiber like this from the seed is known as ginning. It is known as ginning. So what is ginning? The process of separating the cotton fiber from the cotton seed is known as ginning. By using this method, better cotton can be offered for the cotton spinning mills, because if you will use the cotton with the seed, so it will create problem, है ना? So it's compulsory for us to remove the seed from the cotton. So the seed which were separated are either used again to grow more cotton, or if badly damaged then it is disposed of, or we can use it for the several purpose. Ginning method include the step as follows. First of all, drying, cleaning and dusting the seed cotton. Sometime instead of drying we used to spray the water on the cotton. Sir, why we are spraying on the cotton, water on the cotton? Because by spraying water on the cotton, it will increase the life of the fiber, है ना? It will increase the life of the fiber. So the drying, cleaning and dusting of the seed cotton, the actual ginning process which you have seen in the video, and then cleaning of the lint cotton. Lint cotton means which we have removed from the seed. So that lint cotton, if it is having any part of the leaves or anything else, so that will be removed to process in the form of clean cotton. So that removal of the fiber from the seed is known as ginning. Now in case of ginning, I would like to show you that video again, because if you'll see this video, in the end of this video they will process the cotton into bale. Now the cotton is getting processed. This is clean cotton without the seed. If they want to sell this cotton fiber to the other industry, so it is very bulky. How they will sell it? So instead of selling it like this, they will press it into the bale, like you can see here. So the cotton is getting processed into the bale. So this is the bale, right? We have studied every time that what is the weight of this bale. But before we studied about the weight of the bale, you should know about the bale. What is bale actually? So you have seen it here. When it is getting compressed, so it will be compressed into the form of bale. So the weight of one bale of cotton, that was the one bale of cotton. The weight of one bale of cotton is, yes, of course, it is 170 kg, and remaining bale are also mentioned there. Please make sure to remember this data. These are the weight of one bale in case of jute, in case of silk, cotton bale, mesta or international silk. silk internationally it is 60 kg, and in case of Indian it is 50 kg. Okay, and now tell me a lovely why. If you are clear about bale, not about the weight of bale, we were knowing about this data, hai na? But we were not knowing about the bale, what is bale actually. But now by seeing that video, you are clear what is the concept or what is the meaning of bale. Okay, now again let's move forward. So we were talking about the ginning in cotton, but now the next term is not about the ginning, it is something else. In case of ginning, we studied that ginning is the process of removing lint or removing fiber from the seed cotton. But in case of second process, I told you about a word which is known as fuzz. Can you remember? Yes, you can remember. When we will remove the seed, when we will remove the fiber from the seed cotton, still seed will left with the small fiber. Those small fiber, those hairy structure will be considered as fuzz. Now if I want to remove that fuzz, how I can do that? Sir, you can remove that fuzz by using H2SO4, by using sulfuric acid. So sir, put those seed in the seed dressing drum, and along with those seeds, sir, put some sulfuric acid or put some H2SO4 in the seed. So sir, by spreading or by mixing the seed with the sulfuric acid, those fiber or those small hairy like structure will be removed from the seed. And once you do this process, after that, sir, you will see you are able to produce clean seed without hairy growth. No hairy growth, no fuzz will be there, sir. As you can see in the video, earlier it was white and now, sir, it is black. Why? Because the fiber or the hairy structure has been removed from it, sir. This process is known as, I want to know the answer from you, but you can see clear seed cotton is there. Now there is no fuzz, no other growth. This is known as what? Yes, right. So this process will be known as delinting, right? So in case of delinting, delinting is the process of removal of the fuzz from the seed coat in the cotton, removal of hairy structure, removal of the fuzz. It can be done by mechanical method or by using chemical method, but the most predominant is chemical. Yes, mechanical is difficult. For mechanical we need more advanced machines, but chemical method is very easy. In chemical method we do what we do, we use concentrated H2SO4 as we have seen in the video at the rate of 100 ml per kg. So suppose if 10 kilogram seed is there, so 10 kilogram seed means we'll use 100 into 10 means 1000 ml means 1 kg of acid with the 10 kg of seed. So 100 ml with per kg of seed, because in this no residual linters will be present. This process is to produce planting seed. So if you want to plant it, it is compulsory that you should delinting with the cotton seed. In mechanical method, which some force is applied and mechanically delinting, retained about 1 to 2% residual delinters. Even some fuzz will be removed in the mechanical method, and in mechanical method it is high chances are there that your seed will be damaged. This is why instead of mechanical method we will go with the chemical method, and the removing of the fuzz by using chemical method or by mechanical method, this process is known as delinting. Now it's important for you to understand the difference between ginning and delinting. Ginning is something from where we are removing the fibers, but delinting is something where we are removing the lint, we are removing the fuzz, not lint actually, fuzz from the seed cotton, hairy structure like from the seed cotton. Is it clear to not anyone, sorry, it's everyone, है ना? So is it clear to everyone difference between ginning as well as delinting? It is clear. Do you know what I am feeling right now? I am feeling lack of energy. Even it is almost 1 hour after the class. I used to take class continuously for 6 hours. but I'm feeling lack of energy. The reason is I cannot see my audience, and this is why I force everyone to switch on the camera on the Zoom. Today there was some problem with the Zoom, or it is kind of some restriction that I cannot take the class over Zoom. Otherwise I prefer to take all these classes over the Zoom. Why? Because by seeing your face I can understand if you are getting it properly or not. By seeing your video I can ask you to raise up or raise down your hand. So by giving me that indication I used to understand. So that flow of my audience used to give me energy. But today after 70 or 80 minutes of class I'm feeling bit low because I cannot see you, है ना? So this is why while you are taking the classes in the Zoom, I used to ask you, and this is compulsory, that you should switch on your camera and I can see you and I can make this teaching very well. And even I'm trying my best right now also. It's not like that I'm compromising with anything. So it should be understandable, or it should be easily you can easily grab each and everything whatever I'm teaching you. Okay. Yes sir, 100%. Okay, so if you are 100%, so let's move forward. Now I don't have video of this part because I was unable to get a video on the internet, but only images there. Now this lady is trying what this lady is trying to do. It is removing the upper part of the crop. Can you tell me which crop it is? Just see the crop and tell me what it is. This crop, tell me the name of this crop. I don't want to know the process. I want to know about this crop. Tell me the name of the crop, or tell me the scientific name of the crop. Okay, yes, of course it is gram. You can call it Cicer aritinum. So gram or Cicer aritinum, which you can see in the image, and this lady is removing the upper part of the gram. And I don't need to explain this concept, because if you are taking my class from the first moment, I have already explained this concept in the very first slide. By removing the upper part, it will be the auxin will be removed. When the auxin is removed, vertical growth will be stopped. When vertical growth is stopped, lateral growth will come. When lateral growth will come, so more production will happen. So in case of gram, if you want to increase the production, do this process, which is known as nipping, or it is also known as topping in gram. So in case of nipping or topping, removal of the tips or apical buds, है ना? If you are removing the tips or the apical bud, the top part of your plant, apical bud of gram plant, when the plant are 2 to 4 weeks old, is called nipping or topping. When they are 2 to 4 weeks old, they are known as nipping or topping. When we are removing the tips, this practice is done in order to break apical dominance and promote lateral growth. As a result, plant produces more pod and flower and yield is increased. Now, this process can be done by different ways. First of all, we can do it manually by removing by our hand. Can we do it by chemical? If yes, then tell me the name of chemical which can be used in the nipping or topping of gram. This process can be done manually. As we can see in this image, this lady is removing the upper part of the gram manually. So this is manual method, that is okay. But I want to do it by the chemical. So is there any other method that I can use a chemical to remove the upper part, upper part of the gram plant? Yes, we do have chemical, and for that chemical it is TIBA, TIBA. Now TIB is okay. Can you tell me the full form of TIBA? Obviously people are knowing about the full form as well. So TIBA is a chemical. TIBA is a chemical which can be used for the nipping or topping in gram. But apart from chemical, we have something else. That was asked in last year examination. Actually it was not in AF4, some other exam was there, but it was asked. I will tell you about that method. TIBA, of course, it is tridobenzoic acid. It is tridobenzoic acid. TIBA is tridobenzoic acid, right? So TIBA can be used for the nipping purpose, and manually it can be done. It can be done by the help of animal also. Help of animals, sir? Animal will remove the upper part. Yes, of course. Can you tell me the name of animal which can help you for nipping or topping in the gram? This was asked in Uttar Pradesh PCS exam, not last year actually. This was conducted around 2.5 years ago. So they asked this exam in Uttar Pradesh PCS, that how we can do it by animals. Of course, right? So this cannot be done by cow or buffalo, but this can be done by the group of goat or sheep. So when the group of goat and sheep will be passed, we will not allow them to stay in the field, but we will pass them from the field. So by passing them, what they will do, they are immediately passing in the field, and fastly they are trying to eat. They are trying to eat because the goat is known as the enemy of vegetation, and sheep is also eating the vegetation. So when they will pass from the field, they will be eating the upper part because they are passing. They don't have the time. They don't have the time to eat much. So what they will do, they cannot eat whole of your plant, but they can eat the top of the plant. So by passing the group of the goat and sheep, we can remove the upper part as well, because they will eat the upper plant. It is also known as nipping or topping. Now nipping or topping can be done by tridobenzoic acid, by TIBA, which is chemical method. That can be done manual also, and it can be done by the help of the goat and sheep as well. Is it clear to everyone? And is it clear to everyone that it will promote lateral growth, it will remove apical dominance, because I explained this concept in the very first slide. Is it clear to everyone? I need a why from each and everyone. Everyone is clear? Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. No doubt is there, and in case if you are facing doubt, you can ask me in the end of this session at 10 a.m. not p.m. Let's move forward, and next term is related to cotton as well as tobacco, but next term has the same concept. In case of gram, we said nipping or topping, but in case of cotton or tobacco, we will call it topping. I have shown you the video of topping in case of tobacco. Now in case of cotton, what will happen? When you are removing the upper part of the cotton, it will increase the growth of the sympodial branches, lateral branches, or the bole development. Do you know what is bole? Yes, na? In case of cotton, the production is coming from the bole. Like cotton bollworm is attacking on the bole. So that bole growth will be increased. This is why we will do topping in tobacco as well as in cotton. So topping, removal of the upper buds or terminal, as like in gram, but in gram one more word is given, nipping or topping. Like in sugarcane, propping is known as tying and wrapping. Same in case of gram, topping is known as nipping, but in case of tobacco as well as in case of cotton, it is topping only. So topping, meaning of topping is removal of the upper buds or terminal growing portion is called topping. In cotton, removal of terminal growing point once from plant at a height of 1 to 1.2 meter to protect further terminal growth and to encourage sympodial branching and bole development by diverting the energy flow. So we will remove the upper part, energy flow will be diverted. Now instead of vertical growth, lateral growth will occur, as well as bole development will be more. In tobacco, removal of floral head, I show you in the image. In case of removal of floral head or upper leaves or root leaves from the plant to improve the size, body and quality of the leaves, so energy and nutrient are diverted from the flower head to the leaves, it is also known as topping. So now topping is done in gram, it is done in cotton, it is done in tobacco as well. But in case of gram, topping is also known as nipping. So nipping or topping is done in gram. Only topping is done in cotton as well as it's in tobacco. But it's also getting done in one other crop. Can you tell me what is the example of other crop where we are doing the same practice? 3 examples we have taken: gram, cotton and tobacco. One more example is there. Let's see who can answer this question. One more crop is associated with this term, topping or nipping. Which one is that more term? It is not tea. In case of tea, it is tipping. It's not topping, it's tipping. But yes, the second guy who answered it, Satish. Satish is right. It is castor. Yes, in case of castor, for the same purpose what we have studied earlier, for the same purpose we are removing the upper part of the castor as well, and that is also known as topping. So apart from cotton, gram and tobacco, it is castor. But I hope you people don't know about the castor. When you people don't know about the any crop or plant, so it is easy that you should see the photos. If you cannot understand, see multiple photo, but by seeing photo, because when I am seeing this, I cannot understand because I haven't seen it like this. But when I am saying, oh, this is castor, I have seen this plant so much in my childhood, even in my area also, where field where plots, actually residential plots, are kept vacant, so there also I can see the growth of it, right? So here also, by seeing this image, you can say, yes sir, yes, I am also knowing about the castor. I have seen this plant somewhere. Have you seen castor earlier? Say yes. And if not, you can also say yes, because now I have shown you castor. Chalo, after topping, next we'll move to the curing. What is the meaning of curing? Curing meaning is a drying of something. When we are trying to remove the moisture, it is known as curing. Curing is done in 4 different crops. One is tobacco, another one is tea, another is coffee and cocoa. Sir, we studied only for tobacco and tea. Yes, this is how examiner used to ask the question. They know it very well that you people are knowing about these 2 examples, tobacco and tea. But in cocoa or coffee also, we used to dry them. We want to remove the moisture. If you don't know about cocoa, so you are knowing about coffee. Everyone knows about coffee. So coffee which we are using, so of course it is coming in the dry form. That is highly dried. This is why when we used to open up the coffee, it is absorbing moisture. Why? Because it has been dried. So we used to dry coffee, we used to dry cocoa, tobacco as well as tea, and the process of drying or the process of removal of moisture from these 4 crops is known as curing. So first of all, talk about curing in tea. So before I talk about curing in tea, tell me yes or no, do you people like to drink tea? Before taking my class, have you taken tea today? Write yes or no. So 20% will say no and 80% will say yes. I know. Yes or no? Okay. So 80% said, nahi yaar, it's not 80. It's kind of 50-50, right? Okay, that's fine. Tell me, those who are saying yes, that I have taken a tea, so tell me the type of tea you have taken today. Type of tea. I'm not asking about the brand of tea. Don't say Taj Mahal, Tata tea or something else. And I'm asking about the type of tea. What type of tea you have taken today? Is it yellow tea, oolong tea, or is it black tea or white tea or some other tea? Milk tea. Milk tea is wrong answer. Okay guys, so which type of tea you have taken? No one is able to tell me the right answer till now. Not a single answer is correct. कुल्हड़ वाला चाय है ना और तेरे पड़ेगा 2.5 किलो वाला थप्पड़ कुल्हड़ वाला चाय. क्या यार झंडू मामो. Yes, finally I got the right answer from IMDN. It is fermented tea. Yes, the tea you have taken, the type of category of tea is fermented. Now don't say I take kulhad tea, I already gave the example here. Don't talk about the brand, don't talk about the glass tea, cup tea or kulhad tea. That doesn't matter. Actually, the tea which we used to take, it is known as fermented tea. Otherwise, apart from fermented tea, it can be black tea, green tea, white tea, oolong tea, yellow tea, lemon tea. So many teas are there. But the tea which you used to take is fermented. That black color of tea which you are putting in the water after boiling or putting the sugar as well as milk. So that is known as fermented tea. Right? Chalo. It's okay. Yes, let's move forward. So when the tea is coming to our home, when the tea is coming to our kitchen, so it has undergoes by so many process. So under those process, fermentation is also a process. But we will not talk about the fermentation right now. We'll talk about the removal of the moisture, because tea leaves are green. Tea leaves are green. So when tea reaches to us, before it reaches to us, first process which is done, the harvesting of the tea leaves. Harvesting of the tea leaves, which is known as tipping. है ना? Harvesting of the tea leaves, which is known as tipping. So here you can see tea plantation, and from tea plantation what they are doing, they are removing the leaves from the tea plant. So this is known as tipping. After tipping, now these are green leaves, right? These are green leaves. So green leaves cannot be used for the tea making. Even the term says green tea. Even green tea is also dried leaves of teas, right? But that's a type of tea. So curing means after tipping, what we will do, we will dry the leaves. So curing of the tea leaves involved drying of the leaves and losing the green color. The cured leaves are hung in the shade for action of bacteria. They are hung, if they are tied, we will use to hang them in the shade. Why? So the bacteria will action there, and after the bacterial action it will be fermented. So in an oxidation dry fermentation reaction in which water is driven off and bitterness and hardness of the tea is also removed, the green color is lost, the leaves assume a tougher texture and undergo the chemical changes, amino acid and lipid, which will break down completely, turning the leaves blackish brown in a fully oxidized tea. Oxidization has been happened, drying has been happened, chemical reaction has been done. Curing of tea leaves is brought about by the activity of bacteria. Those bacteria are responsible for the fermentation. The bacteria which is used in the curing is, the bacteria which we are using for the tea curing is Bacillus megaterium. It is Bacillus megaterium. Beans of coffee and cocoa are also cured like this. So please make sure, in case of curing, one process which is known as fermentation. This is why the tea you used to drink, it is known as fermentation. It is known as fermentation. Chalo. Now it was curing in tea. In case of tobacco, the curing has a high level. Why? Because tea is comparatively a cheaper concept. Yeah, if I'll compare with the tobacco, tea is a cheaper concept. Why? Because in case of tobacco, it has so many qualities. It has a rate of 2 rupees to 200, 500 or 1000 rupee. How do you know, sir? Do you used to smoke? Of course, no. So, sir, how do you know? I know one of my friend, his parents are staying in Italy. So one day I was standing with him and he said, I want to smoke. I'm not able to think properly without smoking. So I said, go Hannah, take a cigarette and smoke it. He said, no, I cannot take the cigarette from here. I said, why? He said, the cigarette I used to smoke, which is coming from Italy, my parents used to send me those cigarettes. So I was like, why yaar? Hannah, your family is so forward. They are sending you cigarette. If my parents will come to know that I am smoking, they will simply send me the footwears, Hannah, directly on the street only. But his parents are staying in Italy. So they used to send the cigarette to him. But now my point was, he cannot smoke the cigarette which is available in India. He is smoking cigarette which is imported from Italy. Why? The reason is it has a specific quality. So to produce that quality, there are 4 different methods for the curing in tobacco. It can be flue curing, it can be fire curing, it can be sun curing, or it can be air curing. I will let you know about the curing, but in case of tobacco, curing has a high level. Curing has a different or next level as compared to tea. Curing of tobacco is a process by which the harvested leaves are made ready for the marketing. Curing is a process of drying, decomposition of chlorophyll. Of course, the green color will vanish. Decomposition of chlorophyll until the green color disappear from the harvested leaves, hydrolysis of starch into the sugar, and respiration or fermentation of sugar thereafter. So all the taste is getting changed by these process. The sole object of curing is to dry the green leaves in such a way that final has required color, texture as well as aroma. If you do not smoke, but still you can have a aroma of the tobacco, and you will see different type of tobacco are giving you different kind of aroma. Like if you will take the example of food, Simply take the example of food, and what I will take the example of paneer. Paneer is available all over India. We people are eating paneer. Now try to cook the paneer by different method. One paneer is cooked over the gas in the water, it has been boiled. Second paneer is fried, and third paneer is roasted, which is paneer tikka. So paneer tikka has a different taste, and the one paneer which is fried in the oil has different taste, and one paneer which is used as a vegetable with the chapati or with the rice is boiled in the water has a different taste. So same paneer having different taste. Why? Because of different treatment. And the same way for tobacco, we have different treatment for curing. If we are drying the tobacco by using smoke. So suppose if I put the tobacco leaves inside this room, and now I fill this room with the smoke, with the fire from outside, and from that fire smoke is coming inside the room. So tobacco is drying with the help of smoke, that is known as flue curing. If I will put inside the room, I will open the room so that sun should not come but the air should circulate, that is air curing. If I put directly outside, it will be sun curing. And if I will burn something below and tie the tobacco leaves upper the fire, so that will be known as fire curing. And all these curing will give different taste. Those who used to smoke, they can relate it very well. If you are unable to relate, now simply relate it with the food. Yes, if your food is cooked in the smoke, if your food is cooked in the fire, if in the sun, in the air, like momos, we used to cook the momos in the heat, not in the heat, actually in the steam. Momos in the steam. But when we are eating bhaji or pakoda, we used to cook in the oil. So every time when we are changing the treatment, taste is different. So in case of curing of tobacco, there are four methods. Smoke curing, it is in smoking or in smoke, it is flue curing. In air, it is air curing. Directly in sun, it is sun curing. And in case under the fire, it is fire curing. Are you clear about curing in tobacco as well as in cocoa, in tobacco, in coffee? What are the type of curing? I hope now you are clear. Still, if you face any doubt, I'll give you this presentation as well to study the data. And along with the presentation, I will give you the quiz with your recorded class. So in that recorded class, you will have 20 question in the form of quiz. So it will be easier for you to answer that question after understanding these concepts. And please make sure those who are taking this English medium batch, please attempt the quiz on daily basis. In the each lecture, I used to add that quiz, and that quiz can help you to revise the concepts. Right? Okay, let's move to the next point. Before moving to the next point, I will show you a video again. Here you can see the bundles of jute. These are the bundles of jute. So jute has been harvested. Now bundles are going down in the water. They are going down in the water. Sir, why? Because when you will put the bundle in the water, that process is known as retting. That process in the jute is known as retting. When it will go down, so after the action of bacteria as well as the action of water, the phloem or the outer layer will get loosened. So it will be easier for us to separate the phloem from the stem, or that phloem is known as fiber. Yes, because in case of jute is a stem fiber, so that fiber is located just above the stem. Just above the stem we have fiber. So that fiber is responsible. That fiber is not responsible actually. That fiber is something which is the commercial product of the jute. So before we remove that fiber, we used to put the jute stock in the water. So that process is known as retting. After retting, now you will see this lady is removing the fiber. First of all, they are putting in the water, which is known as retting, and after retting will happen. After retting, now you can see, not now actually, so now you'll see that lady is removing the upper part of the stem, so she is removing the fiber, which is the main economical part of jute, because jute is a stem fiber. So now you'll see this process of removing the fiber from the stalk is known as stripping. So putting in the water was retting, and removing the fiber from the stalk is known as stripping. So this process was stripping, and after stripping now you can see they have fiber. Sir, why they are putting the fiber in the water? Just to make it more soft, just to make it clean, है ना? So to make it clean or soft they will put in the water. Otherwise dipping the stalk in the bundle in the water is retting, and removing the fiber is known as stripping. But there is a problem with this process. Sir, what is the problem? Problem with this process is the time. Retting, stripping, retting, stripping. In case of retting, it will take time, है ना? In case of retting, it will take time. Now you'll say, sir, it will take time. So what's the problem? Actually, time is 2 to 4 hours. No, retting period is 8 to 30 days. Minimum of 8 days. Yeah, it is taking 8 days. For 8 to 30 days, I will put for the retting. Then I will remove it as a stripping. Is there any kind of solution that I can reduce the timing? Is there any solution I can reduce the timing? Like people who want to qualify IBPS AFO, they started studying earlier, but some people will come to me in month of January. Sir, is there any course that I can cover everything in a month? I will say, of course, we do have crash courses, है ना? But now what that guy is doing, that guy is trying to cover everything in 1 month, which usually people used to cover in 6 months or 1 year. Now I'm asking for the same. I'm asking, is there any method that I can reduce this time gap of 8 to 30 days for retting? Sir, you should not do retting. 8 to 30 days can be saved. But if I will not do the retting, the quality of the fiber will be decreased. Is there any method that I can reduce this time? No one is knowing the answer. Okay, I will tell you the answer. Before I tell you the answer, I'll have to explain about the retting and stripping. So let's talk about the retting and stripping first. Then I will tell you the answer, how we can decrease this gap. Of course, Jay Pratap gave me the right answer. Jay Pratap is saying reboning, and of course the solution for this problem which is taking time is reboning, right? I will tell you what is reboning. First of all, talk about retting. So retting is a microbial process in which bast fiber, bast means stem fiber get loosened for an easy separation from the woody stalk. During retting, gums, pectins and other mucilaginous substances, those sticky substances, are removed from the plant by combined action of water and microbial action. Dry retting, when water is not available for the retting, immediately after the harvest plants are allowed to dry, and whenever monsoon occur, dry plants are retted. So when monsoon will come, that will dry the fiber. So that is dry retting. Wet retting, harvested plants are directly retted in the water without drying. So that video we have seen, it was about wet drying. In case of dry, it was about wet retting, right? So in case of dry retting, we are drying the plant, and with the monsoon shower, with the summer shower, or with the monsoon rainfall, the stem will again get wet, and after that we'll do the stripping. So retting has two types: dry retting or second is wet retting. Now in case of retting, after 2 to 4 days of harvesting, the plants are shaken. The plants are shaken for complete removal of the leaves. Now we will shake it, all leaves will be removed, and then they are tied in a bundle like we have seen in the video of 25 centimeter diameter. Now bundle are steeped in the water horizontal position, not in the vertical. Vertical will be like this, है ना? Bundle will be steeped in the water in the horizontal position. For the ideal retting, bundle are submerged for at least 20 centimeter deep, है ना? It should not flow on the water. It should go in the depth of water, and depth should be at least 20 centimeter. Optimum temperature for retting, this was asked in IBS AF4 2019 examination. Optimum temperature for retting is 34 degrees centigrade, and retting period is 8 to 30 days. That's it. Then ribbon retting. I will tell you, ribbon retting reduced time of normal retting by 4 to 5 days. Retting was taking 8 to 30 days, but ribbon retting, which is also known as reboning, can reduce this time. How reboning can reduce, I will explain, but leave this term for right now. Just simply understand what is retting, what is temperature required, and what is the period required for retting. Now talk about stripping. So when we will remove that fiber from the stem, is known as stripping. Stripping is the process of removing the fiber from the stalk after the completion of retting. Fiber are removed from the stalk. Fiber is extracted by the hand, either from individually plant or from a bundle of 10 to 12 plant, and this action is, or this process is taken in the jute. Now you did retting for 8 to 30 days, then stripping. I want to reduce this time gap. First of all, just tell me, if I want to do something which will take next 8 to 30 hours, but I'm trying to do it in 4 to 5 hours. Will it affect the quality? Yes or no? Will it affect the quality negatively? Simply say yes or no. If I am able to do something in 8 to 30 hours, but I am trying to do it in 4 to 5 hours, definitely yes, it will affect the quality. So the next term which I am going to tell you will affect the quality of the jute. So this is why recommended process is retting as well as stripping. But if you don't want to go with that much time, so you can go with the reboning. Reboning is also known as ribbon retting. In ribbon retting, what we do, we stripped out mechanically stem of mature jute plant, coiled and allowed to ret under water. First of all, stripping has been done. No retting has been done. Simply we have removed the fiber mechanically by using blades. We have scrapped the fiber. After scrapping that fiber, after removing that fiber, now we allowed it to ret under the water. Sir, when you have removed the fiber, now why you retting it? To make it soft, and to make it better, to increase the quality. But the quality which will increase by retting, that cannot be increased by reboning. So reboning is a solution to reduce the time, but ribbon retting is something where we are doing stripping first and retting after that. That will reduce the quality. But first stripping, first retting for 8 to 30 days, then stripping will make a best quality fiber of jute. This was it about jute. It was retting then stripping, or in case of ribbon retting or reboning, it is stripping first and then it is retting. Type a lovely Y if you are clear about all these three terms, and if you are clear about, along with the terms, you are clear about the concept that why we are doing retting and stripping and why we are doing retting and stripping instead of those we are using stripping. If everyone is clear, type a lovely Y, and even if you are not clear, you have the right to write no. I will explain it again. Okay. Perfect. No one is writing no. Everyone is getting 100%. And I hope you people are not getting bored. You are enjoying the class. You are learning new things, because when we learn new things, so our mind get excited, our body get excited. Wow, I am using my 2 hours and I am learning new things. So if you are learning something new, you will feel excited, you will feel happy. And if it is not new for you, you are knowing everything, then it will be boring for you. And I hope I'm giving you some new data. Because everybody know what is jute, what is retting, what is stripping. But if you are getting something new, so you will feel excited, you will feel happy. And I hope I'm capable or I'm able to do that. Okay, so let's move forward again. Next video is there. Here you can see the person is trying to tie the tomato plant. Why? Because tomato, there are so many tomato on the plant. Because of the weight of those tomato, the plant will fall down. But that person wanted it to grow it in a better way. So he is trying to tie the stem of that tomato plant. So tying of the stem of the tomato plant to give it support, it is known as stacking. It is known as stacking. Please make sure stacking is something different. Right now we are talking about stacking. So in case of stacking, this is something which is done in tomato. Why it is done in tomato? To make sure that tomato will not touch the ground. If tomato will touch the ground has a higher temperature. So that higher temperature will give sunburn to your product. You have seen sunburn in case of capsicum, which we call Shimla mirch, and second tomato, which is tomato. So in tomato, in capsicum, you will see sometime a part of tomato or capsicum is yellow. It is soft. We are not eating that part. Why it become yellow or soft? It's because when it will touch the ground has a more temperature, and due to that more temperature, sir, that part will be affected. The part of fruit will be affected, which will be known as sunburn. So I want that my product or my fruit or my tomato should have sufficient quality. So I'll have to ensure that it should not touch the ground, and if not touch the ground, that means I'll have to give the support to the plant, and that support or the action of tying the tomato plant is known as stacking. In case of stacking is the act of propping up a plant via vertical structure to encourage upward growth. tie the stem of tomato plant to the support structure every 6 or 8 inches as they grow. The main goal of the staking tomato is to keep fruit off the ground. If they will touch the ground, the quality will be reduced. Keep fruit off the ground, protect the fruit from the sunburn, and get a decent crop. Staking tomatoes, cucumber, pea, and other fruit and vegetable with the long vine that required extra support to grow upright. So apart from tomato, this can be done in the so many other plants, but the major tying process is done in tomato. This is why every time we used to study that staking is related to tomato, but if tomato is not the option, other option are there, of course that answer will also be right. So staking is done to support up the tomato plant so that they will not touch the ground, and we should be able to maintain the quality. I already told you about this term when we are harvesting the tea, when we are harvesting the upper leaves, or when we are removing the upper leaves. Now this is not something which can be called as topping or nipping, because this process is not to increase the lateral growth. This process is simply the harvesting of the tea. Harvesting of tea is known as tipping. So tipping is removal of tea from the tea plant is termed as tipping. It is first round of harvesting of the young shoot. When we are first time harvesting the leaves, first plucking of recovering bushes is called tipping. When we are plucking the leaves, it is tipping. Tipping is done at the height of 35 centimeter. Then second tipping is done at the height of 60 centimeter. When the shoots grow in a tea bush after pruning, they are tipped at a predetermined height parallel to the ground surface by tipping a flat plucking. A flat plucking surface is established for convenient plucking. How flat surface? So in the video you will see when they are cutting or when they are removing it, they are clearing, they are making a flat surface. Why a flat surface? Because it will be easy to harvest tea again in the next tipping. So the process of harvesting tea leaves or plucking the tea leaves is known as tipping. So please make sure topping was different, nipping was different, but tipping is done in tea, that is different. So it's not the removal of apical dominance, it's simply the harvesting of tea leaves. It is known as tipping. Now after tipping, next one is rabbing. Rabbing term is related to the tobacco. Rabbing is related to tobacco. Now what is rabbing? In case of rabbing, what is rabbing? When we want to prepare the nursery of any plant, how we can produce the nursery? So to produce the nursery, what we need to do, we should make sure that our soil is not having any pathogen, any disease causing element. Sir, why? Because if there are disease causing element, if there are any pathogen, so what will happen after it? Those pathogen, those disease element can produce disease to your seedling which will be get produced in the nursery, and when we'll transfer those seedling from nursery to the field, so all the field will be affected by that disease. Do you want that? Of course no. So if you don't want to that, or if you want to produce a good seedling in the nursery, so what you will do? So suppose the room where I am standing right now, it has a soil, and here I am going to produce nursery of the tobacco. So what I will do, I will simply put the straw, you can say organic matter, a layer of organic matter which is 15 to 20 centimeter thick. So I'm just putting the straw here, all the part is covered by the straw. So I'm putting the straw, all the part is covered by the straw. Now I will fire this straw. Sir, why you will fire this straw? Sir, this is wrong, you are increasing pollution. Yeah, that fire can produce smoke and that can cause pollution, but it's on the small area, right? So by burning the straw on the upper surface of the soil will kill all the pathogen or harmful bacteria or harmful insect or any kind of pest which present in the soil, and now I can make sure that my nursery plant will not have any kind of soil borne disease. So that burning of straw to remove the pathogen or to remove the pest from the soil, the process in the nursery of tobacco is known as rabbing. It is known as rabbing. So I told you the process which is written over here. Are you guys clear about rabbing? Make sure rabbing is related to nursery. Rabbing is related to nursery. Rabbing is related to nursery of the tobacco. Okay, everyone is clear about wrapping. Now next we'll talk about earthing up. Earthing up is done in so many crops, but out of those so many crops, sugarcane and potato are important. Sugarcane and potato, sorry, not tomato, it's potato. Sugarcane and potato are major example. First, we'll take the example of potato. Do you like potato? Yes, of course. है ना? People from southern India, they like tomato a lot. They like potato a lot. I don't know why. In North India, in our case, we don't like tomato. We don't like potato. The reason is availability of potato is so much. In season, it is 5 to 10 rupees kg. So every time, if you are staying in a hostel, PG or somewhere else, they used to cook potato only, है ना? In dal they will put potato, in paneer they will put potato, every time it potato. But when I am teaching to students from southern India, so they used to tell me, है ना? When I started agri coaching Chandigarh for the first time in 2016, so I have a batch of 7 students from southern India only. So I arrange a PG for them. So those 7 used to stay in a single place and they used to complain about the food. And I asked that owner, sir, this is my first batch. I will give you so many students. Your business will flourish, but please try to maintain the quality. One day he invited me for the lunch along with those students. I said, okay, I will happily come there. So when I have the food, I compared that where I am living in that PG, that auntie is not giving that much good food, but he is serving good quality food. I was happy with that food. But South Indian student, no sir, this is not good. Because he was cooking rajma for them. He was cooking gram or sicer aritinum for them. And after the struggle of 10 to 12 days, when every good vegetable or good dish was bad for them, then we realized that they want 2 things. One, they want potato. Second, they want a lot of spices, or you can say chili. है ना? We understand what is their demand, and then we started catering that demand. And that guy who was the owner of PG was very happy to give them potato. And for next 2 to 3 months, they were very happy. Yeah, now we are happy because a lot of spices or chili is there, and then potato is there. Okay, we are happy. है ना? So potato is maybe more important in Andhra or in southern part of India, but it is not that much importance, or it cannot have that much importance in our area because we have a lot of availability of potato. Let's come back to the point. If you are eating or if you are having potato, sometime you have observed that in potato, one area which is almost green, है ना? Area is green. So why that area is green? When the potato will come outside the soil, so due to sunlight, that potato will become greenish in color. That is because of a compound found in potato. It is solanine. Because of solanine, it will get green, and that green part has toxin, or that green part is non-edible. So if there are green color or green part in the potato, so that potato will be considered of inferior quality. If I want to make sure that my potato should have superior quality, so I'll have to make sure that potato are not coming outside the soil. And if I don't want them to come outside the soil, I'll have to give them more soil, है ना? When they are growing, when the tubers of the potato are growing, I'll be giving them more soil, so that tubers should not come outside. So that the act of giving more soil to the potato is known as earthing up. The process of giving more soil from the ground to the potato is known as earthing up. And the same is happening in sugarcane. In case of sugarcane, it will not get green, but in case of sugarcane, it has comparatively more weight, so it will fall down. Even after tying and wrapping, it can fall down. So what we will do initially at the stage, we will try to give it more soil. When we are giving it more soil, it will have more roots, and by more roots, it will have more strength. So the act of giving more soil, है ना, from downside to upside, it is known as earthing up. Mainly it is done in potato and sugarcane, but it is also getting done in groundnut as well as some other crop. Are you clear about earthing up, and are you clear about the earthing up in potato and sugarcane? In sugarcane, it is to give the mechanical support, or it is to give the support, or in potato, it is to support the growth, not to give the support. Potato is not falling down, है ना, to support the tuber growth. And in case of sugarcane, it is the act of giving support. So like you can see here, we are giving more soil to sugarcane, which will give them, give them support. Are we clear about it? Okay, so let's move forward. Next one. Next I'll show you a video where you can see rice. Paddy crop is there. Rice is something which grain we are eating from our plate. But rice with the husk is known as paddy. Because in the field when rice is there we call it paddy, but when we are eating in the plate it is rice. So what is the difference between paddy and rice? Rice is the final grain and paddy is which has a husk outside the rice. Do you guys know what is the meaning of husk? Have you seen the rice with the husk? Okay, if you have seen the husk and rice, so just do one thing, put in the water. Sir, why to put in the water? We'll do a concept or we'll study a concept parboiling. So first of all है ना, first of all that rice with the husk are put in the water, means soaking has been done. After soaking, what we will do? After soaking, now next process will be putting in the water and heating up. So see, after soaking, what we did now, we are boiling it, actually we are steaming it, and so after soaking it was steaming, and after steaming now it is drying. So by this process the size or the grain size will be increased, and the process which you have seen in the video is known as parboiling. It is known as parboiling. So what is the meaning of parboiling? Parboiling is a hydrothermal treatment. Why hydrothermal? Because we were giving it fire as well as water. So water means it is hydro, fire means it is thermal. So it's a hydrothermal treatment in which paddy is soaked in the water and steamed and dried to obtain the dry to obtain the gelatinized rice, है ना? So that rice which has a large grain size. Parboiled rice, also called converted rice, the rice which has been partially boiled in the husk, है ना? Partially, not fully boiled. It is partially boiled because instead of boiling, it is known as steaming. So we have given the steam to it. Parboiling seals any cracks within the rice, causing the rice to become harder and resulting in a higher milling yield with the less breakage. Parboiling involves partial boiling of the paddy before milling in order to increase the nutrition value, in order to fill that cracks, and in order to increase the size of the grain. So this is something which is known as parboiling, and this is done in case of paddy, and this is the process how we are doing it. Okay, next we'll move to deholming, but it's 10 a.m. right now and our 2 hours are over. Few more terms are pending. Deholming, or it can be after deholming, it is heliotropism, then in banana it is denaveling, it is bushing, then forking, blanching, scuffling, sickling, not sickling, it is silking, है ना? Terms are there. So what we will do, we will cover this in our next session, and next session will be conducted day after tomorrow, and that will be on Zoom. And the timing of that session will be 7 to 9 p.m. only, as our English medium batch classes usual time. For tomorrow, we will not be having any class. For tomorrow, you guys will be having the final test of animal husbandry. So now read the animal husbandry, because this was the third class. In case of paid batch, this was the third class of agronomy, but already we have covered animal husbandry. So now I wanted to make sure that we have fully covered the animal husbandry, and from day after tomorrow we'll start with the full enthusiasm with your agronomy, because it is also an important subject. So that's it for today. I'll see you day after tomorrow in the evening at 7 p.m. Tomorrow will be off from my side, but for you it's not off. You'll have to come in the class, those who are attending me from the classroom. So you'll have to come in the class at 7 p.m. Test will be there, and after test you will have to do the analysis. How we can do the analysis, I will share the video in your Telegram group, as well as from Hyderabad and Vijayawada branch I will share the video with the concerned people, so they will be sharing the video with you. So attempt the test, do the analysis, and day after tomorrow we'll continue with the remaining part, and we'll cover the next part as well. So for today it is over, and up to now, till now, whatever we have studied, if you have any kind of doubt, you can ask me right now. And before you ask me, please give me positive, not positive, yeah, please give me actual feedback, that if I'll ask you to give the rating out of 10, and feel free to give me 5, 6 or 7 or 0, है ना? Out of 10, how will you rate this class? And if you are going to rate it 8, 9 or 7, so please write the reason as well, so that I can understand where do you need improvement. Not where do you need improvement, sorry. It's my weak English, है ना? Where do I need to improve, है ना? What are the criteria where I can improve? Thank you so much. Those who are writing 10. Deepak Singh, I told you, if you are going to give me 8 or 9, I need the reason why you gave me 8 or 9 so that I can make sure to get 10 out of 10. Please tell me the reason also. Otherwise, I will give you 0 out of 10. Why? Because you are not telling me the reason. Okay, 100 out of 10. Thank you so much. 9.5. Can't we make it round off? 10 out of 10? The class was bit fast. Yes, है ना? So if you are giving me 8 or 9 based on the speed, so I will not consider this feedback. Reason is, we have only 3 months. We have only 3 months to cover the syllabus of 6 months. So if I want to cover the syllabus of 6 months in 3 months, it will be little fast, my dear Deepak. है ना? So keep up your lamp, sir. है ना? Keep up enlightening the world. I'll have to go fast, my dear. If I will not go fast, I'll be able to cover your syllabus till February. And then you will say I will give you 0 for that. So instead of taking 0 by covering my syllabus in Feb, I will happy to take 9.5 out of 10. I'll have to be fast, yaar. Actually, it's not about Zoom or YouTube. I know today I was fast because I wanted to cover the complete topic. Because as I promised that I will cover whole agronomy in 16 lectures. So actually I need 18 to 19 lectures with my normal speed. But I don't have 18 to 19 days. I want to cover it in 16 lectures only. है ना? In your 7 to 9 batch. So this is why I am going little bit fast. It was not that much fast, but yeah, it was little bit fast. But again, you have the option to watch the recorded class or you have the option to study the PPT. So if you are facing little doubt, you can do it. Anything else apart from speed? Speed is because of time, sir. Give me time, sir. I can teach you agronomy. Give me only 25 classes in 1 month. In 1 month, I can teach you agronomy, which you were unable to study in last 8 semester or in last 4 years of BSc AG. But right now it's about AFO exam, so we are about to approach the examination, so I'll have to go fast. That's it. Nothing else apart from that. There is no suggestions. I have seen other, okay, it seemed to me like they are touching over. Didn't feel confident. You are entirely opposite, sir. I am getting confidence. Thank you so much, Vamshi. I will do my best. I will ensure that I will give my 101% for your selection. And I will not leave everything. See what I am doing. When I am teaching in the class, I used to cover concept only. Like in Retting, I said this is temperature, this is day. Generally, I do not cover these part. Why? Because I used to give this part in the notes. So I wanted to give you more concept in class. And I want to give you the facts in the notes only. You learn the concept, you learn the fact. Now I give you the test. Test will be the combination of concept as well as facts. So you will be perfect once you will attend my classes, you will study my notes, and you will attempt my test. And you will feel confident within a month. And those who are attending my classes, we have started from 5 September and today it is 21st. So that means only 16 days are there. And after 16 days, you can see the change. And again, you can give me the feedback after 16 days. Can you see a great change? Not a little change. If it is little change, so of course in 16 days of classes, a little change will happen. Can you see a great change which was not coming in 2, 3, 4, 5 months? You have done that in last 15 or 16 days. If you can see that change, so I will show you the speed will be increased day by day and you will learn a lot. You will learn more in coming days. Trashing and detrashing both are same. There is no difference. It's like suckering and desuckering. So removing of suckers can be called as suckering or it can be known as desuckering. Same. Trashing and detrashing is same. Trashing and detrashing means when we are removing the green and dry leaves of the sugar cane. because sugarcane stalk can bear 30 to 35 leaves, but for the photosynthesis only 8 to 10 required. So the other leaves which are 20 to 25, they are not involved in photosynthesis, they are not doing photosynthesis, so they are not useful for us. So removing of those 20-25 leaves is known as trashing or detrashing, and this is done in sugarcane. Okay, any other doubt? If this doubt related to class, you can ask. If you have any other doubt, you can call my helpline number, which is 95200 90200. Okay, that's it. I have answered all the doubts related to class only. Now I'll see you day after tomorrow in the evening at 7 p.m. Till then, take care. Bye bye. Keep studying. Give the test. Give your 100%. I'll see you in the next class. And I'm going to miss you tomorrow. It is my habit that I used to teach you in the evening at 7 to 9, but tomorrow I'll be in Himachal Pradesh at that time. So I'll be missing you, but make sure you will attempt your test with the full enthusiasm. I want your 100%. I don't want 100% marks. Your marks can be 20, 30, 40, 45 or 60 out of 60, doesn't matter. But I want your 100% in that test, in the preparation of test. So keep it going or make it happen that your marks should be highest ever. Not in case of ranking as compared to other, but what you deserve or what you can gain, you should show your 100%. Now I'll see you in the next class. Till then, take care. Bye bye. Have a good day. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.